Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Harshit.
Hi. Yeah, so let's wait for some time.
Sure. Uh, then I'll share the screen. Or should I share the screen right now?
Yeah. You can open the uh, presentation.
Yeah.
We can't see the presentation window. Okay. Yeah, now I can see.
Okay.
Hey, hello everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, this Vijay joined.
Hi, Vijay.
Hi, Vijay.
So I think let's start. So today we have session on fog computing. So Karnav and Vijay will be conducting it. So Karnav, can you please start?
Yes, sure, Harshit. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to A4 Technology System Community Program. Thank you for taking your time and being here today. I'm Kanav Malhotra and I have Vijay Makhija with me.
Hello everyone.
Today, we'll be giving an overview about fog computing and its applications.
Also, we'll be running a live QA session at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And even if you miss anything, don't worry, we'll be sending this recording all around. Yes.
Today, we'll be covering the following topics and diving deep into few concepts and queries that everyone have when they hear about fog computing. So, we will be having a basic overview of fog computing, comparison between cloud, edge, and fog, its journal architecture that we see in basic cloud computing model, and some applications and use cases, and looking into few companies who are pioneer in fog computing platforms for solving real life problems. Since the evolution of computing in 1950s, we have seen lots of advancements in technology from mainframe systems in 1960s to client server architecture in 1970s, which gave birth to internet era in 1980s. With the availability of desktop computing and x86 architecture, the rising demands of more hardware and resources led to the discovery of virtualization technology by the end of 1990s. But as internet continued to expand, organizations, researchers, academicians became to grapple with concerns relating to high cost of computers and computational needs. Also, they could not justify investing at high cost in computers that would be idle for most of the time. So this caters to the concern. To cater this concern, uh, entrepreneurs came up with a model which is very ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to shared pool of configurable computing resources, which are we see in daily life, like networks, servers, storage, applications, and other services, which can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimum management efforts. We nowadays we call it as cloud computing. Hello. It has uh, it has the following characteristics. It's like it's on-demand service, self-service. It provides wider network access, provides resource pooling, rapid elasticity, and we pay as we go, and we use the resources. As this technology comes with a lot of advantages, there must be some disadvantages too, right, Vijay?
Right. Yes. So this is where fog computing comes into picture. Okay. Now let's understand what exactly is fog computing. So why do we call it as fog? Okay. It's because it is similar to the cloud, but lower to the ground. Okay. Both of these terms are made of same components, the same computing, the same storage, the networking, all of them virtualized. We all know that cloud computing is all about using a network of remote servers hosted on some internet to store, manage, and process data rather than doing it locally on a local server or personal computer, right? So fog computing platform brings the similar functionality, the cloud-like functionality, but closer to the source where data is created, and it provides a conceptual approach for virtualization and orchestrating computing, networking, and storage resources to process the data. Yes.
This is also known as fogging and fog network.
Yes. So for sure, cloud services come with obvious benefits, right? I mean, then what is the need of fog computing? Why do we need it? It's because cloud services have a major disadvantage. Cloud data centers are centralized and thus typically far from the end user. And if something is far, it will result in high latencies, correct? The classic cloud model, if I talk about, it doesn't work well for a variety of reasons in cases where we need a faster response time or when the sheer volume of data transmitted would overwhelm the network. Okay, when huge volume of industrial data is transmitted over the network, it brings in various bandwidth issues. All the data management, data cleaning, data securing, data analytics, and even the storage needs to first happen on the industrial floor itself, as close as possible to the machines. So this fog computing paradigm enables factory fleet management, okay, predictive maintenance, predictive quality control, faster software updates with higher efficiency. We'll surely discuss all of them, all these use cases in coming slides. Okay, so this fog computing was basically brought in to integrate IT and OT into a single platform. We all know about them. What is IT and OT? Now, you know, IT refers to something with the use of computers, software, hardware, and other telecommunication devices to perform business operations. Right? These devices are mainly located at office locations, server rooms, and data centers. While when we talk about OT, operational technology runs the operational side of the business. Okay, IT is mainly associated with the backend functions used to perform various business operations like ERP, your billing and revenue collection softwares, your asset management, and maintaining customer information, and so on. While on the other end, if I talk about OT, it's associated with front end, field-based devices used to perform the actual operations. These OT systems, I would say, are based on vendor-specific proprietary technologies, right? They are operating in real time or near real-time environments.
In simpler words, we can say IT deals with information while OT deals with machines or appliances.
Correct, correct. So what is this convergence? What is IT-OT convergence? Okay. IT-OT convergence means integrating the operational technologies, such as SCADA, remote terminal units, PLCs, meters, sensors, which work in real time or near real time with IT systems. Okay. And what's driving this convergence? It's the increasing complexity of networking and computing in OT, and the need for a significant increase in process maturity in areas that are normally within the domain of IT, especially I talk about network security or identity management. Okay, if we talk about the operational side of the business, say robots or machines on the industrial floor, right now, all these robots or machines are standalone. There is no monitoring, no predictive analysis. Network for all of them needs to be configured individually. Okay, when they are converged with IT, informational technology, which is data centric, all such issues can be resolved, and it would help.
Vijay, sorry to disturb you. Can you come closer to microphone? Your voice is little low.
Oh, is it? Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So I was saying, like, with convergence of OT with IT, okay, which is data centric, all these issues can be resolved, and it would help in terms of power, bandwidth, cost effectiveness, and would fulfill the core mission of our secure, reliable, and streamlined operations.
So there is another term which is similar and is also known as edge computing. This term was first introduced in Open Fog Consortium, which is led by fog computing entrepreneurs and university researchers, namely Cisco, Dell, ARM, Intel, Microsoft, and Princeton University in November 2015. Fog computing and edge computing appears similar since they both involve bringing intelligence and processing closer to the creation of data. Since it is first heard by consortium members, people always ask few questions. Is fog and edge computing refer to the same thing? Are these terms interchangeable? No, not exactly. With fog computing, data is processed within a fog system or IoT gateway, which is situated within the LAN. While the edge computing, the data is processed on device or sensor itself without being transmitted to anywhere else. So let's see what are the problems with edge computing. With edge computing, processing is done at the devices itself. So it requires high power supply. Consider an example of a jet engine. Example like that, it produces a large amount of data about engine's performance. For sure, these devices need to be efficient, meaning they require little power, produce little heat. But if the processing of data is done at the edge itself, it requires enough power and would require higher heat. With fog systems coming in picture, the industrial gateway would collect data from edge devices, which is then sent to the LAN for processing. Other major example or other major drawback is the lack of distributed computing. So consider an IoT system, which consists of sensors and devices. It requires communication. It requires communication with each other. So with edge, we cannot achieve this. But with fog, data from different edge devices through some sort of connectivity can be accumulated and processed and can be done to perform required actions like sending an alert automatically or adjusting the sensors or devices without the need of user. Or in other words, we can say like we can perform all these operations remotely or can be managed from the cloud itself. Other one is the security related issue. Though processing data on edge devices is considered safer, there is also a problem of malwares or other keyloggers, which might be present on edge devices. If the data on edge is hacked, then all the devices working on the data are also compromised, making significant risk that than previously it is being affected.
Correct. Okay, then let's see the general computing architecture of this fog computing, or in other words, we can call it as deployment model. Okay, if you see the diagram here, it clearly represents a hierarchical structure in the form of a triangle, as the width at the bottom layer signifies the number of geographies a single application can cater. And if you see the height, it signifies the network latency. Okay, you can see here the bottommost layer encapsulates the wireless, smart, mobile, or fixed end user objects such as robots or sensors or smartphones or cameras, or it can be anything, right? And data from these edge devices, okay, at the bottommost layer, the data from these edge devices is sent to the middle layer of fog system, which we also called as proxy nodes. Okay, it is used to process the data in real time and can be used for hosting IoT applications that require low latency, as well as performs data aggregation, filtering, and pre-processing before sending it to the cloud. Okay, finally, if you see the topmost layer, it's for the cloud. It involves powerful servers distributed within distant data centers to host applications for big data analytics or permanent storage, you can say. Yeah.
So we can say edge devices are managed by fog devices, while fog devices are further managed by cloud systems. That is, edge devices offloads data to fog devices, while fog devices, after data massaging, offloads the data to the cloud systems. Now, let's see the role of each entity in the fog design model. So the clients, like robots or sensors, use application services provided by a fog application provider. These applications are deployed on fog service provider. This at the center here. Now, like fog service provider receives the data from edge devices, massages the data, and send it back to the cloud services. So in the top left corner, all the data so it is not necessary that we are just sending the data back to the cloud services. It is like we are also, we might also be using some cloud resources to perform some operations or leveraging cloud resources as well. Yeah. So finally, let's see all the applications and use cases here. Here we have seen nowadays, like there are many self-driving and self-autonomous cars in market are available. They produce large amount of data. Consider some fog device in form of chip, which is present on your car or traffic signal. The data between the two nodes needs to be analyzed and processed quickly based on the information provided, like traffic and driving details, climatic conditions, etc. All this data is processed quickly with the help of fog computing. Other data like vehicle maintenance, tracking is sent directly to the manufacturer by sensors or the device connected in the vehicle. Second application is about smart grid and smart cities. Nowadays, electrical grids and electrical meters are smart and dynamic. For effectively running utility systems at real time, it is essential to process the remote data close to the place where it is created. It is also possible that the data is generated from a single sensor or a group of sensors. So fog computing is designed in such a way that it can sort both the issues and thus avoid the overconsumption of cloud resources and higher latency over the network. One of the best example that I've already mentioned is electric meters. Now consider these fog devices are, let's say if the fog devices are hanging off electric poles to process real-time data, it would help to quickly identify any ghost in the grid network. Example, if we are expecting 5 connections in that area and say we see 7, this means someone is stealing it. Moreover, it allows fast machine to machine handshakes and human to machine interactions, which would work in cooperation with the cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, other application and use cases are like more of industrial automation. Industrial automation is a very difficult market in which to introduce any new technology. The rate of acceptance of any new technology in industry is relatively slow as compared to the commercial, office, or home markets. I mean, there are various reasons for it, being it security, reliability. Even when technology is well accepted, there are spatial environmental problems that must be overcome. Like I said, security and privacy are different in industrial automation market as well. Reliability, as I spoke about, is often the factor where some measurable differences in implementation is required from other markets. Okay. However, two generally accepted sub-markets within industrial automation are like, one is factory automation. I'll take an example, say consider the case of factory automation. Like before fog computing, okay, there was no asset management solution for your sensors, robots, devices that are actually used for manufacturing your cars and other units. There are factories with tens of thousands of these devices, and they were keeping using the outdated technologies to keep track of the deployment status, software configuration, maintenance records, and lots more. Even the maintenance events like fault notifications, any 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 software upgrades, etc., were still done on off basis with no visibility and actions at the factory level. And also the reach data from robotic controller was completely dormant. Okay. Another one like mentioned here is process automation. Okay. Here I'll consider the case of machine builders and machine users. Okay. Fog computing solution brings in numerous benefits for them. It enables the acquisition and processing of real-time data from machines. Example, consider the example, you know, about robots or machines. They have the access, right? Machine access, which are used for manufacturing the cars or other units. So this golden signature of these machine access and other devices, it can be stored and compared against acquired data to predict the quality of the parts being produced, as well as the health of the machines. So all these issues can be resolved by bringing in fog systems in the middle layer. Yep. Yeah, there are many other use cases. These were some of them that we discussed. Yeah.
So these are few of the companies who are pioneer in fog computing. Three of them are, four or five of them are just Open Fog Consortium members, and other two are the major pioneer companies in fog computing. So these are few references of research papers, articles, and blogs that we usually refer for cloud computing. And these are some members like Flavio Bonomi, who is Cisco, who is expert in fog computing, member of Cisco. Also, he's ex CTO of Nebula Technologies. Also, Hung Jong Cha is a member of Campaign Group. campaign group in Japan and Korea. So there are few white papers listed by Cisco, some articles that are present on Medium and techieexpert.com. So with this,
Yeah, with this, we come to an end of this topic. Feel free to ask any questions. In case you have any queries, we'll be more than happy to address those.
you can also send your queries to learning@a4tech.com.
Any queries, any questions? Yeah, if not, we'll meet next Wednesday with new topic in the series. Yeah, till then, take care, keep learning.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for taking out time. Thanks
Thanks.
Harshit. Yeah.
Thanks, Ashwin.